I did actually have another life before I became a fertility patient. But then I became a fertility patient and it changed my life. I spent my 20s doing everything that women of my generation were told to do. Went to university, climbed the career ladder, was picky about choosing a partner. By the time I was 34, I was running one of London's largest theatres. That's not an operating theatre. I find this very important to explain when I'm with fertility professionals, a place where people perform. I'd met the man I wanted to have a family with, and I thought it was perfect timing, and maybe it would have been if everything had gone to plan. But it was the start of what would become a decade-long struggle to conceive, that after a diagnosis of unexplained infertility led to 11 rounds of unsuccessful IVF, multiple miscarriages, and an ectopic pregnancy that nearly took my life. A perfect baby, but in the wrong place, my stomach. For years, like many people going through infertility and IVF, I was very secretive about it. And then I wrote a book about it and told the world. That book, The Pursuit of Motherhood, came out 5 years ago, and my second book, 21 Miles, Swimming in Search of the Meaning of Motherhood, came out last year. I've also set up Fertility Fest, the world's first arts festival dedicated to fertility, infertility, the science of making babies and modern families. We have a social mission to bring artists together with fertility professionals, patients and the public to try and improve fertility education and discourse about all aspects of reproductive science, and crucially, to highlight the lived experience of the fertility patient in order to improve emotional and mental health care so that everyone has the best outcome, whatever their fertility story, however it ends. I'm delighted that for the second year running, we're hosting a satellite of that festival here at ESHRE, and if you haven't already come, please come to visit us in Strauss 3. We have an exhibition, an arts exhibition, a virtual reality film to watch, and 2 more artist talks. One today at 3 on The Invisible Man, and one tomorrow at 11 on When Art Doesn't Work. And finally, I've also been taking on some of the world's most iconic mental and physical endurance challenges to raise awareness of what it means to struggle to conceive. I've swum the English Channel, I've run the London Marathon, and next year I will be attempting to climb Mount Everest and set a world record to become the first woman to complete the legendary Pond to Peak Challenge. I've never been athletic in my life. I'm not a swimmer, or a runner, or a mountaineer. In fact, I pretty much hate all forms of exercise. So when people ask me how I do it, I just say, well, hey, I went through 11 rounds of IVF, another of the toughest physical and mental endurance feats on the planet. It was good training. So, dear doctor, can you hear me? How to improve communication between professionals and patients? Well, I guess I could just quote the words of the Greek philosopher Epictetus. There's a reason why we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth. You just need to listen more, which of course is what Sandra said. That's what patients say over and over again. Doctors seem to forget that patients are often experts in their own unique fertility story, and they just want to be listened to and treated like an individual. So I could just say that now and walk away. But hey, I've never been known to say one thing when I've got a platform like this. So because I like lists, if you read my books, you'll know that, here are 5 things. Dear doctor, infertility is shit. Sometimes, that's the patient suffering in the room. Sometimes I'm not sure if fertility professionals fully understand quite how shit it is. I know that there are many clinicians who care, but I also hear over and over again about the lack of empathy. I call infertility the pain of never, and I want to show you a short film, which is a reading from my second book, about what I mean by that.
experiencing something you never had. Something that was never more than an expectation, a dream, at most a cluster of cells. It's not like I'm dying or on the verge of a humanitarian disaster. People don't need to start having sex because I can't have children. I know it's a hole in my life that society finds difficult to understand. I call it the pain of never. These are its list of symptoms. If you've got them, you'll know. Never feeling like a real woman because you can't do what every other woman finds so easy to do. Never being able to feel happy for someone when they announce they're pregnant without feeling sad for yourself at the same time. Never being able to admit you've been in the loo crying about it because you don't want people to pity you. Never being invited to a baby shower, a christening, or children's party without it hurting. Never not being invited to a baby shower, a christening, or a children's party because people are trying to spare your feelings without that hurting even more. Never being able to make a pregnancy announcement to your family and friends and have them throw their arms around you in warm congratulations. Never being able to legitimately eat for two, or buy a cool maternity outfit, or go to a bookstore and buy What to Expect when you're expecting. Although I did do once, and then I miscarried and felt like a fraud. Never feeling the first kick of life inside you. Never being able to say, I think my waters have broken, or bring me gas and air. Is that what people say? Never knowing that. Never having a baby placed on your chest and saying hello for the first time. Never being able to breastfeed and use your body for what it was intended to do. Never being able to write an out of office that says, I'm away on maternity leave. Never being able to see your child's first steps, or first words, or first day at school, or first anything. Never being able to share these things with your friends, and growing distant because of it. Never seeing someone else's photos of their children on Facebook without wishing you had photos to post too. Never hearing anyone call me mum. That's the pain of never.
Infertility is brutal. It has a soul-destroying effect on your relationship with family, friends, colleagues, and your partner. It decimates your self-esteem and grips you in a fear for your future. And it's for this reason that I always say that the worst part of IVF is not what's being done to your body, it's what's going on in your head. And why infertility is most definitely a disease. It's a disease of the mind as much as it is of the body. Which is why, dear doctor, how are you going to treat my head? You don't know? You're not going to? Can you hear me? I'm going to desperately need it. For me, patient emotional and mental health care should be fully integrated into the clinical protocol. But can I say here that psychological support does not just mean counselling. Every patient will need something different. So yes, it should include counselling, but it should also include provision or signposting to approved complementary therapies, because even if there's no evidence that they will get you pregnant, they might help how you feel. And also support groups and books and online forums and live events and relevant charities. And every member of a clinic needs to be trained and retrained in what it feels like and the importance of this support. But dear doctor, hold on. I'm not infertile. You're right. IVF no longer equals infertility. Maybe it did once, but not anymore. And this is really important. It's not my story, but it's many people's story. Because what I found is that the language that's being used in clinics and the support that's offered does not yet fully reflect this. The biggest area of growth in IVF, certainly in the UK at the moment, is from people who have no fertility problems. Same-sex couples, solo mothers, egg freezers, but make no mistake, IVF is still going to be shit for them too. Because we all know, a lot of times it doesn't work. I recently attended a clinic open evening, and at the end of the session, I turned to the lesbian couple sitting next to me and I said, "What did you think?" And they said, "We're looking for a clinic, but we don't think we're going to go here. We think we're going to go to one that treats same-sex couples." And that clinic lost 2 patients, not because they didn't treat same-sex couples, because of course they did, but because their language and their support wasn't properly reflecting the diversity of fertility patients today. And whilst I'm on this subject, can I just also say that fertility, infertility and IVF is also about men. And something that really shocked me was one of my artists who said at an event earlier this year that the only time the doctor looked at him was when he was asked to pay the bill. Dear doctor, can I remind you, and we talked about this earlier, that my fertility education wasn't terrific. This is a worldwide problem. The vast majority of us have not been taught how our reproductive bodies work, how to protect our fertility, what the warning signs might be that something's wrong. We don't know when the biologically optimum age is to conceive. Many of us don't even have a real understanding of fertility decline. Some think we can carry on having babies until our menopause. Not really, no. We see celebrities getting pregnant in their 40s and 50s and have no idea that the vast majority of these will be through egg donation, what that means or what it costs. And equally, we see role models like Beyonce getting pregnant with twins, a perfect girl and a perfect boy, and we don't know that she's probably been through IVF, the danger of multiple births, or that that perfect girl and boy might have been the result of sex selection, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for the world. We just aspire to her perfect life. And when we find ourselves in an IVF clinic with a dazzling array of treatments, with weird acronyms like ICSI and PGS and IVIG, we don't think we need to interrogate our doctors as to whether this treatment is relevant in our diagnosis, often not, whether it's undergone a randomized controlled trial. I didn't even know what a randomized controlled trial was, and whether it would harm us or our future baby. In fact, bottom line, when we walk into a doctor's consulting room as a potential patient, we really know very little, and we are often desperate. We might even think that IVF is a magic bullet, guaranteed to get us pregnant, and we have no idea that 75% of first cycles fail. And that is why IVF and infertility is shit. So, finally, dear doctor, it's not over when you get the double line. When I leave your clinic and you can't see me, can you still hear me cry? I hear over and over again that women cannot enjoy their pregnancies after reproductive trauma. They need continued support. And equally, people who have been through unsuccessful treatment need help to redefine their life. So if we really want to improve communication between doctor and patients, you need to understand that whatever the outcome, you are leaving, at the very least, a scar, and sometimes an open wound on someone's soul, whether or not you manage to make them a baby. Yes, my life has a lot of meaning and happiness. I've written 2 books, I've set up a festival that's here in Vienna, I've swum a channel, run a marathon, and later this month I'll be climbing a mountain. But I'm never going to get over those 11 rounds of unsuccessful IVF. The pain of never is never going away. Please, can you just hear that? Thank you.